So continuing the topic, don't you think like we spoke about the Bitcoin dominance in the market? So I've checked that and it is around 52% right now. So don't you think that this ratio will remain in the future, or altcoins will fight back and change that ratio to like lesser Bitcoin dominance in the market?
Well, if we, I mean, like I can just start, but like if we talk about, for example, Ethereum and blockchain, decentralization, the scalability, if it's used at another scale, it can be much more scalable, and we can see much like we see in blockchain layer ones especially take much bigger chunk than Bitcoin. But if this happens, otherwise, if the blockchain is not really narrative and Bitcoin stays a store of value, I guess Bitcoin will take over. Yeah, it depends on the how L1s will develop.
So after Bitcoin halving, the game pretty much stays the same, right?
Well, like we mentioned since the beginning, the with the cycle, Misha. So it's 2016 and 2020, we see the prices go up, but it doesn't change anything on what's being built behind, right? I don't know what you guys think about.
I agree with you that there is a dearth of tokens with intrinsic value. A token should have intrinsic value, and by that I mean you should be able to compute it. So given a certain parameter value, the token has a certain monetary value. This is the case for a number of users and the tokens used in play to earn. And there are other examples. And as long as we see tokens as a store of value, so they mimic Bitcoin, well, Bitcoin will remain dominant because it's the main store of value. And that's the main use case for Bitcoin. It was the first one, it's the biggest one. So why should you store your value anywhere else?
Good point.
And it took me a long time to understand the utility of Bitcoin. The Bitcoin is the poor man's offshore bank account. If you have a Bitcoin wallet and you live in Nigeria, you can keep your assets safe from the government. And if you're in Nigeria, Venezuela, China, actually the Bitcoin fluctuation in price is not so bad compared to the local currency. So, but what I really want to see is more projects that have a token where I can see, okay, if the number of users increases to 10 million, then the price will probably be this. And this is the case with a protocol like Kilt for identity, where every user has to, or every identity needs to lock up a certain amount of tokens in order to create this identity. And so the more identities there are, the less liquidity there is in the market, and hence the price goes higher. And yeah, so I'm really hope that it will be widespread in the future.
So do you guys agree with that statement?
Which does the Bitcoin's gonna gain less market share in the future, right? That's the question.
Yeah.
Well, it's a tough question. I'm not like I'm visionary, but not that much. Like we're all like trying to. I mean, I'm not a Bitcoin maxi, but like really believe in Bitcoin. So I mean, I hope Bitcoin will gain market share, despite the fact that we see a lot of use cases of blockchain outside of Bitcoin. Yeah.
So I think we can all agree that the price after the BTC market or BTC asset will rise. But the question is by how many percent that surge will be. So there are different statistics about that and different opinions that it will rise right after BTC halving, or some say it will rise like after the half a year or even a year. So in your perspective, how long it will take to BTC to like surge significantly, or maybe like make an X2, for example?
We already X2 from
yeah, because
from
I just remember that the price
year.
of BTC is like around 35-ish or so. So yeah, it's likely to happen. But okay, let's put it in this way: how long it will take to actually surpass 100K limit and further?
New all-time high. You mean?
Yeah, reach new ATH, but surpass that 100K mark.
But if an ETF gets approved in the US, like BlackRock, can be pretty quick, to be honest.
Really?
Can be pretty quick, but maybe not like obviously at the same scale as what we've seen before. I tend to like follow what ARK investments or Michael Saylor, since they are bagging a lot of Bitcoin. Maybe like a 10x, can be possible.
Sorry, next year?
Yeah, since we're already 2x, very quickly, you know, like maybe between 5 and 10, you know, to be not too optimistic.
Because I've seen an opinion actually from Arthur Hayes. Let me show that to you. So back in May 2023, you said that Bitcoin's value might raise to like $750,000 to like $1 million by 2026. And after that, actually, but I think that's rather unreal by now. But he said that by the end of 2024, the price will be around like 70,000 or so. Do you agree with that notion?
I mean, it seems like the same statement like Balaji made a year ago that Bitcoin is going to be increased to 1 million in 1 month or so.
But is this possible in theory?
I mean, everything possible in theory. Like,
okay.
Because there is percentage, there is probability of this scenario. Like, but
in general, forecast macro. You know, I mean, it's very few people can forecast macro. So yeah. We don't know what people in the world have in mind. It will be very...
Yeah. Let's take an optimistic scenario. And the war in Ukraine ends in the next 12 months. And the war in the Middle East ends in the next 18 months, even next 12 months. If these two events happen, I see Bitcoin at 150K. Nowhere, because everyone will be exuberant, world is fixed again, etc.
Oh, so it's up to like external events happening.
It has a lot to do with macro factors, and something is completely out of our control. Gary Gensler gets hit by a bus. Bitcoin surges 10%.
Really?
Oh yes, definitely.
Well, let's not speculate about that. Just I have
don't
nothing
wish
against
him
him
to get hit by a bus. I'm just making a prediction.
Okay. So that's the point, actually. Well, this to me definitely will raise some speculation about the price and will probably lead to its surge. But let's wish Gary good health. But in theory, all external factors that is going to happen in 2024 might positively impact BTC price, not to mention the Bitcoin halving, in your opinion, Mike, right?
Yes, indeed. So the Bitcoin halving has a big effect, but it's not the only factor.
But could it be the opposite, that these events are not going to happen and the BTC halving fails to deliver the promised price surge? So could that be in the following year, like 2025? Well, I mean, will this crypto winter last longer than expected? That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
really doubt. Yes.
Even the previous bull market was, let's say, officially confirmed like after the halving is done. So
do you mean like the bull market of 2021, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I can agree with that because... Okay, fire away.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, just so you know, guys, because the recent BTC halving took place May 11th, 2020. So it was rather a year when the bull market starts. So, I mean, could this scenario take place in the future? Like, if it's more plausible in our situation that we find ourselves in.
I mean, basically, if you understand the fundamentals, why it's happening and why the BTC halving basically affects how it affects the market. There is 2 points from my perspective. Like the first one is market expectations and market player expectations, and everyone knows, okay, like when BTC is halved, there are less incentives going to the miners, and it's definitely going to pump. But the traders, but the price, but this event is already priced by the funds, traders, basically market. So everyone knows it's going to be pumped. Everyone starting buying before. Basically, this inventory is already in the market, closer to the BTC halving. What's happening next is in reality there are less liquidity which goes to the miners, which they're selling on the market, OTC, whatever. So less inflows, and it's slowly basically creating more demand. So demand is increased comparing with the amount of BTC offered to the market. And and it slowly pumps the price up. And finally, when everyone recognizes it, this event has also become included, not included in the market, but more like the traders also put this event in their expectations. It's everyone understand it, everyone starting pushing price up. So how the crypto market works, every market like expectations and push the price more forward than any real effect of the real events. Like, let's say, I remember when everyone was expecting that. I don't know, like if everyone remember about Backed platform, like kind of institutional investment platform for traders, and everyone was expecting, okay, after it's launched, BTC is going up almost immediately because institutions will come and start trade and buy some Bitcoins on regulated platform. And everyone expected that. The price of BTC was pumped, and this event was already traded after the release of the Backed. I think it was basically nothing and super low trading volume, real trading volume. Nothing happened after. So from my perspective, expectation push the market more forward than real events. At least it's basically it's how it works in crypto.
Mm-hmm. So the expectations and the tiredness of the bearish market will drive BTC halving BTC price up in 2024, no matter what.
Closer, but it's already in the market. So basically, Bitcoin pumped like 2 times, because even like Binance announced the countdown on their main page. It's BTC halving in like 150 days or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one of the main trigger events.
Do you guys think that we're still in the bearish zone, or we are right now in the accumulation?
We're definitely not in the bearish zone. Things are picking up slowly, and we see it in the price. I think the all-time low was just like at 15K. It was like last year, right? End of last year.
And Micah, sorry for interrupting you.
We should remember that the gains will be lower than last time also. So we had a 20x between 2013 and 2018. We had a 3x, a bit more, between 2018 and 2021. 2020, sorry. No, it was 2021. And so in 2025, I mean, let's be realistic. We might have a 2x or 120K, but not a 10x to 600K. I don't expect that, but that's my expectation. I mean, I was a lot of times wrong in the past, and I will be a lot of times wrong in the future.
Well, that's the future. Nobody knows that. And actually, as you've touched upon this topic of mining rewards, that's exactly what I wanted to talk about. So as we know, mining rewards are lowered. So miners have to adjust to, the shifting dynamics of Bitcoin mining process, as it's like they face more competition for smaller rewards. So don't you think that this substantial number of miners substantially could potentially quit Bitcoin mining after its halving?
Yeah, the difficulty might drop.
Mm-hmm. And Gauthier, in your opinion, don't you think that the substantial number of miners suddenly could potentially quit Bitcoin mining after its halving?
I mean, I'm not in the mining business, to be honest, but like I know it's already happened. But I mean, like we've seen a lot of like miner like leaving, like obviously China, and like people that have to leave their grid basically. So you mean for the reward, right? Because the reward will be lower. And you think that's maybe I guess big miners might benefit, and maybe like smaller ones won't be as as much rewarded, so maybe they might quit the business. Maybe like the mining industry might be a bit more monopolized with bigger actors than like small miners.
But basically complexity or amount of miners doesn't really affect of the time finality of the block. The complexity or like amount of miners doesn't increase and doesn't affect the time of the block creating in the real time, because the complexity is quite flexible here. So basically, if there are less miners, the complexity of creation of new block is decreased, and so the time would be similar-ish in the long term, and it doesn't affect no time, like, and then basically there are same amount of bitcoins would be generated in the same period of time, no matter how much
hash rate would actually drop if miners stop mining, and block confirmation will take longer time to actually find
in
the
short term, but like already mentioned, basically it basically affects just in short period of time, but creation of a new block of the Bitcoin, it's have different time of different kind of adjustable complexity schemes. So basically, if the several large Bitcoin miners stop mining Bitcoin, the time would be increased for several few blocks, or several, let's say, 100 blocks, 1,000 blocks. But after that, it's became the creation of the Bitcoin will require less capacity of the power from miners, and the time would be in long term same. It doesn't affect not amount of the halving, because as we know, every halving usually proceeds in 4 years, so it's supposed to be after the boom of the mining, 2017, the halving should be in 1 or 2 years, comparing with the same long hash capacity which was happening before, because no one mined Bitcoin in 2011, 12. Yep.
And don't you, rest of you guys, think that with block formation times taking longer, it could actually mean the security problems and security concerns?
It's not going to take any longer. It will be same like it was before. It will be just a less reward of Bitcoins, which rewarded for miners by each block. But the block generation time would be same, basically.
And Micah, what do you think about that?
Well, I don't really have much of an opinion. It's indeed, if the Bitcoin price doesn't go up enough and it doesn't cover the price of electricity, then miners will split. Bitcoin's value is determined by the electricity it requires to mine it, or the other way around, the incentive to mine is determined by the price. So yeah, it really much depends, but I don't think that miners determine the price. I think it's the other way around.
So it is the demand and the popularity of the coin that is forming the price for the BTC, right? But what I'm trying to say here is that demand is steady growing, but could this sudden quit of miners actually disrupt that?
No, because the protocol is written to adapt to this. So if there is a drop in hash power, and it has happened in the past, the protocol adapts and the difficulty will be reduced to accommodate the reduction in hash. So it's not an issue.
So for those who quit, BTC network will always find those who are willing to take their place.
No, it's just that if there are fewer miners, then the difficulty will drop and the protocol will continue. It's not an issue. The protocol is not dependent on the number of miners. It just, the price attracts more miners. But if there are fewer of them, we still have Bitcoin. As long as there are 3 miners, I guess, we'll have Bitcoin. It will just not be safe.
Okay, so what do you think, Gauthier, about that?
Well, I mean, if there's less miner, maybe the price of Bitcoin will increase and the supply will stop increasing. So at the end of the day, if we agree on the fact that Bitcoin is a store of value and that the institutions are using Bitcoin, the price won't be driven by the miners. I agree with what Mike is saying. So yeah, I mean, then obviously it's up to the miners. For sure, things won't be as scalable as when it started. It's always the same for any industries. Getting into a Tesla stock right now is not the same as getting to Tesla when they were 15 years ago, which is normal. It's not indefinite. So yeah, I guess I think one of the issue here will be the supply. Is the supply of Bitcoin enough for the entire world? That's one of the things that you can maybe talk about. And if there's less miners, like that might be an issue.
Because I can agree with that. I'm really concerned about this problem of supply. But I think this topic is up to debate for the completely different talk. So I'd rather proceed to like our conclusion, so to say. Malika, if you have something to add here.
Not really. I just want to say, thank you guys. It was like super interesting and still relaxed call. And we will keep an eye on the crypto market. And I really hope that the predictions we've discussed will apply in both scenarios, the upcoming bull market, which is just around the corner, and the resolution of conflicts and wars. So thank you so much, guys, for coming. And thank you so much, Ivan, for leading this conversation.
My pleasure. Thank you all, guys, for participating and giving such incredible answers and opinions. Really appreciate that.
Thanks for inviting us.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Bye.
You too. Bye. Bye.
Okay, have a nice day. Goodbye.